Hello and welcome to A Fan Reads Bantha Tracks. This time I'm going to read Bantha Tracks number 14, November 1981. So, pre-production part 2. They were talking to Joe Johnston. What phase of pre-production are you involved in now? Right now, we're storyboarding the main action sequences. For the first time, we're boarding both the live action and special effects together. Normally, we only board the special effects, while artists in England work on the live action. But the action sequences in Jedi are so very complex, with lots of intercutting between effects and live action, that we're boarding them simultaneously. Do the designs of all the creatures and hardware evolve during the storyboarding phase, or is that something that's done separately? For the most part, the designs are decided on before storyboarding begins. The design phase is a lot of fun, especially in the early stages, because we want to do just about anything we want. We don't like to worry too much in the beginning whether or not something will work. George prefers to first settle on a good design and then try to come as close as possible instead of setting limitations and letting them dictate the design. That's a little more expensive, but it's the willingness to spend a little more to execute a better design that helps set our films apart from lesser productions. The end result looks like we care. It all comes down to production values. Norman Reynolds, our production designer, is very good at translating his designs from paper into a set on a stage or on location that does just what it's supposed to do. What can you tell us about
Revenge of the Jedi?
Not too much. The story is great. I like it more than Empire or A New Hope. It will resolve a lot of questions raised by the first two films. It's packed with new hardware, new characters, new environments, as always. There's a battle in Jedi that A New Hope and Empire were just warm-ups for. Any suggestions for fans who are planning to do the kind of work you do? Draw. Most of the portfolios we receive in the mail are rejected because the person just can't draw. And don't develop a style too early. I intentionally vary my style when I do designs or storyboards. If nothing else, it keeps the process from getting boring. People can lock themselves into a particular style too soon because it's easy or seems more natural to them, but it's important to try different ways of drawing with different tools on different kinds of paper. When you see a film that works, try to figure out why. Watch the way the shots are put together. Take some film classes, especially for the technical side of filmmaking, which is what I feel I really missed. But then again, working closely with George Lucas is probably the best film school you can go to. Now we have Creativity Contest! Since Star Wars was released in 1977, The Empire Strikes Back in 1980, Lucasfilm Limited has received countless artistic gifts from its fans. To the best of our knowledge, never before in the history of film have any movie sparked such a creative flow of energy from its audience. The Star Wars Saga 1981 Creativity Contest was held to officially recognize your artistic abilities and to thank you for sharing your love of the Star Wars saga. The fan club has received over 3,000 entries from around the world. Many of the categories were judged by the appropriate department heads, and everyone found the judging to be a lot of fun. Opening the daily packages and mysterious boxes to see the latest entries was a challenge. The most popular category was two-dimensional art, mainly military crafts and portraits of the various characters. The second most popular category was literature, ranging from short haiku poems to full-length novels. Great ideas and plots, hours of interesting reading. The most popular title was Revenge of the Jedi, followed closely by the various versions of The Rescue of Han Solo. The film category included stop-motion animation, movies, storyboards, SPFX, photos, and various recreations of scenes from the Star Wars saga. The music category contains songs, sound effects, recitals, lyrics, and folk songs. Folk songs? Three-dimensional art ran the gamut from models to sculpture to costumes. The miscellaneous category stretched from toys to game parks to computer board and video games, wind chimes, and needlepoint. The model category was added as a special category to separate it from sculpture. Prizes have been awarded to both. Special mention goes to those of you who presented us with various challenges and delights. Most decorative packaging, most difficult package to unwrap, the Karelian Smuggling Award to all of the Canadian entrants who smuggled their entries to the U.S. Postal Service when the Canadian Post Office was on strike. And most entries. There's a literary category. It's really like comparing apples and oranges, trying to rate a novel against a poem, for instance, or to judge writing ability in such varied age groups. Overall, there is some very interesting and inventive work in these submissions, and Lisa and I were both impressed by the great personal caring and effort that the members put into this contest. Anita Gross. Those were the judges. The Rebel Reader by Michael Parks. Extra, extra, read all about it. Death Star destroyed. Interview with heroes, Luke Skywalker and Han Solo. Plus, Han reveals the real story why he came back. Sports scores. All your favorite. Kill ball, water hockey, driving rally ball, and slammer ball. Results of the Creature Bowl 1735. Movie review. Star Destroyer, a rebellious film reviewed by Entertainment Reporter. Editorial. The most likely contenders for our next base. Reader favorite. Dear 974-3439. Weather forecast. This week's weather on your planet. Special attraction. For the first time ever, Han Solo's Guide to the Smuggling. So buy your Rebel Reader today. A Child Shall Lead Them by Bill Hayes. Bill has taken all of the rumors from Jedi and the unanswered questions from Empire and written an alternate Star Wars universe story with them. Vader knew Waif was a very special 4-year-old when he first saw her stealing fruit from under the nose of the Emperor she was controlling through the Force. Waif could see all possible futures. She agreed to help Vader capture Luke, for she knew helping Vader would also help her princess to the envisioned future she desired. The story reunites the main characters in the final battle with Vader and his Emperor at Tantalus. In the throne room, Leia and a rescued Han are reunited and with Waif's help succeed in destroying the Emperor. Luke fights his final battle with Vader and loses, leaving it up to Han and Boba Fett, the other, to reveal Vader's final treachery and destroy him. There is Chaos Aboard the Executor by Barry Behringer. Danny Corrigan was just your typical small-town Star Wars fan. All he wanted to buy were the latest bubblegum cards from The Empire Strikes Back. When he couldn't find the cards, the salesperson referred him to the manager, who referred him to the store's supervisor, an Imperial officer. Everyone kept insisting Danny wanted to obtain classified information. Was it all an elaborate hoax? When Danny found himself being held on the Executor and getting sick all over the deck from the hyperspace transition, he knew he was in trouble. Mercy Mission by Katriana Rose Carol Myers. I should have known from the moment I first woke up that it was going to be a phenomenally lousy day. I was right in the middle of a wonderfully disgusting dream when something very loud and very insistent tried to beat my door down. I moaned with regret as the dream dissipated, then grunted acknowledgement of the summons and rolled over. General Riking's summons was to send Han and Chewie on a mission to Casada and rescue a small group of rebels. Everything went fairly well, and the rebels were on board, but then the nav pewter started to act up and they had to take a side trip to repair it. By the end of the journey, Han couldn't decide which payment he valued more, the cold hard cash or the look Mala had given me, and the kiss Alona had brushed across my cheek. Look what I got! I got the R2-D2 with sensor scope. Oh my gosh, this is so cool looking. Has amazing detail, just like the movie. Wow! Look, you turn the head, it clicks. Wow, that is so awesome. And look, the R2-D2 sensor scope pops up just like in the movie, The Empire Strikes Back. This is so awesome. I love it so much. And then you have film judges as the fan club staff. The film category was expanded to include SPFX photos and set recreations from Star Wars and Empire. The judges looked for unique ideas, attention to detail, and the knowledge and use of SPFX in general. You had Jedi Recruitment Film by John Richardson. In John's stop-motion film, Yoda gives sage advice on what a Jedi student must learn before earning his lightsaber. In the film, Yoda displays the various skills of a Jedi by demonstrating his agility, levitating an X-Wing, showing us other people and places, and defeating Darth in a lightsaber duel. Star Snores by David McCoy. Imagine what it would be like to fall asleep one night and wake up to find yourself and your bed flying through space to become part of the events of Star Wars and Empire. See David Dodge, the opening titles, X-Wings, Planets, Asteroids, TIE Fighters, and the Death Star Trench. What a nightmare! Star Wars, a remake by Jim Jungsma. Using models, props, several friends, and a knowledge of special effects filmmaking, Jim has made his version of Star Wars concentrating on the various key scenes that occurred in the movie. Then you have music and sound category. There were judges, Ben Burt, sound designer, and fan club staff. I enjoyed the creative efforts of the contestants. The tapes reminded me of what I used to do when I was younger. I judged the special effects tapes on originality, creativity, use of imagination, and most importantly, on whether they entertained me. No weight was given to technical merit at all. Star Wars sound effects by Jim Bob Anderton. Jim Bob designed 8 sound experiences based upon the Star Wars saga, using a slinky toy, a paper towel tube, a trumpet, vocal imitations, hangers, and mandibular dexterity to create laser blasts. R2-D2 and C-3PO, the wind vades of Cloud City, Darth breathing, and several scenes from the movies. There's something called Star Wars Boogie. I'm a loyal Star Wars fan, collecting all the toys I can. Comics, posters, laser blasters, starships, puzzles, and bowcasters. All that stuff is not enough. My dad is broke, and that's no joke. My favorite captain is Han Solo. He is my galactic hero. He's a smuggler mercenary. His friend Chewbacca is Harry. Now he's frozen. He's just dozing. No mistake, when he's awake, he'll get Boba Fett. Sound effects by Aaron Skinso. Aaron created various sounds for lasers, lightsabers, hydraulics, and engines from everyday household items. Satirical musical interview by Terry Black. Utilizing key lines from popular songs, Terry Black's fictional reporters interview the various characters about their experiences in the Star Wars saga. Captain Solo, You're a Hero, to the tune of My Darling Clementine. And there's two-dimensional art. stuff. That would have been neat to have my stuff in here. I've taken pictures. I just didn't pay attention to this. I'm so lame sometimes. The Los Angeles Philharmonic. This is a profile. Have you ever wished that John Williams had written words to his great Star Wars music? Well, many Star Wars enthusiasts have done that. Such songs are called filk songs. Okay. So now I know that previously that was not a typo, because I never heard of filk songs before. Filk songs. Interesting. F-I-L-K. Filk songs. Filk songs are similar to folk songs, but organized science fiction fandom of the early 30s adopted the Anglo-Saxon word for folk, filk, to indicate a fellow fan. Anyone can write a filk song. Just take any well-known melody, you're not limited to movie themes, and put your own words where there are notes. A group of people can be coached in 3 groups, singing it in rounds with a minimum of instruction. Now that you have a rough idea of what filk songs are, we can introduce you to this issue's member profile, the Los Angeles Philharmonic, a group of 8 Star Wars fans who write staggering numbers of Star Wars filk songs from their first viewing of Star Wars. They were widely enthusiastic and discovered folk songs provided the perfect creative outlet for that Star Wars fanish enthusiasm. How do they write folk songs? Most of their songs start as a clever bit of wording from a joke or comment, mentally scotch-taped onto a well-known set of notes. A Philharmonian will take the idea and fill out the folk song. Some of the folk songs are very funny, or simple, or develop an incomplete point from the movie. New lyrics are shown to the other 7 for comments, inclusions, and criticisms. Some songs are solo creations, others are written by a team. The Los Angeles Philharmonic sings its way into the hearts and ears of fans at science fiction conventions. Dressed in their black formal Philharmonic attire, they become folk singers extraordinaire, staging a cappella performances of their folk songs at SF masquerade intermissions to the delight of their audience. The LA Philharmonic, having sung on Hour 25, a Los Angeles-based science fiction talk show on listener-sponsored radio KPFK. They also perform for fan cabarets at science fiction conventions. Their repertoire is extensive, performing such songs as Brush Up Your SF, and They'll All Kowtow. There is Nothing Like a Droid, Bantha Herds in the Sand, Vader of Sith, Pop Goes the Death Star. We hope the few examples we put in this issue will inspire some of the rest of you to write and sing your own folk songs. If any of you have written any sterling examples of folk songs and would like to share them, please send us a copy. There's a little article here on how to make a TIE Fighter holiday ornament. I'd love to have a Star Wars ornament. If only you can just go into a store and buy a Star Wars ornament. That would be really cool. I'd love to be able to put those all over my Christmas trees. That is it for Bantha Tracks issue number 14. Yay! So, until next time, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.